Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're shining the spotlight on one of the most iconic coins in American history, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1973. At first glance, this penny may seem like just another common coin, but as many experienced collectors know, there's more to this little piece of history than meets the eye. Now, you might be thinking, a 1973 Lincoln penny? That sounds like a coin I've seen plenty of times. And you're not wrong, these pennies were minted in large quantities, and they were circulated widely. However, the value of a coin doesn't always come from how many were produced, but from how rare and well-preserved it is today. So, what exactly makes the 1973 Lincoln penny special? Let's take a closer look. The 1973 penny was part of a long-running series that honored Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most revered presidents. The coin features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, who originally designed the Lincoln cent in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Over the years, this design has become one of the most recognized in American numismatics. On the reverse side of the 1973 penny, you'll see the famous image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been the standard reverse design for the penny since 1959. The detailed engraving of the memorial itself, a tribute to Lincoln's leadership and legacy, adds a sense of historical significance to the coin. However, despite the beauty and history of the coin, the 1973 penny is typically considered a common date in terms of production and availability. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1973 pennies don't carry significant value beyond their face value, certain conditions or errors can make them incredibly valuable. One of the key factors that collectors pay attention to is the condition of the coin. Most pennies, especially those from the 1970s, were heavily circulated, meaning they're often found in poor condition with visible wear and tear. But there are always exceptions. In particular, uncirculated 1973 Lincoln pennies in pristine condition can be worth significantly more than you might expect. Coins that have been kept in mint condition and have no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration are highly sought after by collectors. When it comes to determining the value of a coin, its condition plays a crucial role in how much it can fetch in the market. Another interesting factor to consider is the possibility of mint errors. These are imperfections that occur during the manufacturing process, making certain coins more unique, and often more valuable. For example, some 1973 pennies may have been struck off-center, while others may have double strikes or even missing elements in their design. These minting errors are rare, and error coins are often worth far more than their regular counterparts. Now, let's talk about a true rarity, the 1973 Lincoln penny with a particular type of mint error that's catching the eye of serious collectors. If you happen to come across a 1973 penny with a unique error, such as an off-center strike or some other distinctive feature, you could have a coin worth much more than the average value. But even without errors, the 1973 Lincoln penny has a special place in the hearts of collectors, and that makes it worth keeping an eye on. You may be wondering, just how much could a 1973 Lincoln penny be worth? The standard 1973 pennies, when found in average circulated condition, are still worth only 1 cent. However, for those that have been preserved in exceptional condition, the value can rise significantly. And if you're lucky enough to have one of the rare error varieties, the price could be much higher. And now, the big reveal: if you have a 1973 Lincoln penny that is in mint condition, or perhaps even one with a rare minting error, this little coin could be worth as much as $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000 for a single penny. It's a staggering amount, and it just goes to show how valuable certain coins can become with time and rarity. So, if you've got a collection of coins or you happen to come across a 1973 Lincoln penny, make sure to check its condition carefully. If it's in excellent shape, or if it has a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Coins like these serve as a reminder that the value of a coin isn't always tied to its face value but to its rarity, history, and the stories it tells. Today, we're diving into a fascinating coin from the United States, one that may look like just another everyday penny, but it has a story to tell, and potentially a huge value that could surprise you. I'm talking about the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent coin. This might seem like a typical penny from the early 80s, but let me tell you, there's more to this little piece of currency than you might expect. When you think of a penny, the 1981 Lincoln cent might not immediately come to mind as a coin that could be worth a fortune. After all, the United States minted over 7 billion pennies in 1981. So, why are we talking about this specific year? The answer lies in the condition and rare characteristics that a small number of these pennies have. Let's take a closer look at why the 1981 Lincoln penny is so interesting to coin collectors. First, let's talk about the design of the 1981 penny. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design has remained largely unchanged since 1909, and Lincoln's image on the penny is one of the most recognizable and enduring symbols of American currency. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic shield of the Lincoln Memorial, which graced the back of the penny from 1959 all the way through 2008. These design elements are timeless, but for the 1981 penny, the real value isn't in the design, it's in the condition and rarity of certain coins that weren't properly circulated. You see, in 1981, the United States was in the midst of a significant economic period, and most of these pennies were produced for everyday transactions. They were widely used, and because of that, finding an exceptional 1981 penny is actually pretty rare. Most of the pennies from that year have been worn down by years of handling, spending, and circulation. But, and here's where the exciting part comes in, certain 1981 pennies were kept in pristine condition and haven't seen the light of day since they were first struck. These uncirculated coins, which have been carefully stored or kept in protective cases, have become incredibly valuable to collectors. Now, let's dig deeper into what makes the 1981 penny really special. The condition is, of course, one of the most important factors. Coins that have been kept in mint condition, with no visible scratches, discoloration, or wear, are much more sought after. But that's not the only thing collectors are looking for. Over the years, some rare mint errors have been found in 1981 pennies. These coins are often much more valuable than their standard counterparts. For example, there have been cases where 1981 pennies were struck off-center, resulting in misaligned designs. Some pennies may have experienced double strikes, where the coin was pressed twice during the minting process, causing the design to appear in multiple places. Others have been found with unusual die cracks or even missing details due to issues with the minting equipment. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can drive the price of the coin up significantly. A simple mistake during the production of a coin can turn an ordinary penny into a highly sought-after collector's item. If you happen to find one of these error coins in your collection, it could potentially be worth thousands of dollars. But even without a mint error, a 1981 penny in uncirculated condition can still command a much higher price than a typical worn coin from the same year. It's amazing how something as small as a penny, which we usually think of as having little value, can end up being worth so much, especially if it has been preserved in excellent condition. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1981 Lincoln penny be worth? The standard 1981 pennies, in average circulated condition, are still worth just 1 cent, nothing more. But when you start talking about coins in uncirculated condition or with rare mint errors, that's when the real value comes into play. And here's the exciting part. If you happen to have an uncirculated 1981 Lincoln penny, or better yet, a penny with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $55,000. That's right, $55,000 for a single 1981 penny. It's not a number you'd expect to hear when talking about such a small coin, but it's the truth. A rare error coin or one that's been preserved in pristine condition can fetch a jaw-dropping amount at auction.so. If you've got a jar of old coins lying around or if you're out hunting for unique finds at coin shops or online, don't overlook those 1981 Lincoln pennies. Take the time to carefully examine their condition. If you find one in mint condition, or if you're lucky enough to find a rare error coin, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Coins like these serve as a reminder of how history, rarity, and condition can come together to turn something as humble as a penny into a valuable collector's item. Today, we're uncovering the story behind a coin that may look simple at first glance but holds an interesting secret: the 1980 United States Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin, often found in pockets, jars, or loose change bins, might seem like just another penny, but it's far more special than most people realize. So stick around as we dive into why the 1980 penny could be worth a lot more than you think. We're all familiar with the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the penny. The design, crafted by Victor David Brenner, has been unchanged for over a century. But while the design is timeless, there's something unique about the 1980 version of the penny that many collectors have taken notice of. You see, the 1980 penny was minted during a very interesting period in American history, when the economy was recovering from high inflation, and the coinage system was undergoing a shift. While millions of pennies were minted that year, most of them ended up in circulation, spending years bouncing around in cash registers, wallets, and vending machines. Over time, the majority of these pennies have been worn down, losing their luster and intricate details. So, what makes the 1980 Lincoln penny stand out from the rest? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and the fascinating errors that can sometimes occur during the minting process. First, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like most pennies from the 1980s, the majority of them were heavily circulated, meaning most you find today are in poor condition. The wear and tear from years of handling, scratching, and being spent on everyday purchases means they don't carry much collector value. However, if you happen to come across a 1980 penny that's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be holding something special. A well-preserved penny, free from marks, scratches, or discoloration, is much more desirable to collectors. Even though it's nearly 40 years old, a coin in pristine condition can be much more valuable than its face value, but condition is just one part of the story. There's another, even more exciting aspect of the 1980 Lincoln penny that has coin collectors buzzing: mint errors. Sometimes, due to issues at the mint, coins are struck with mistakes that make them incredibly rare and highly valuable. In the case of the 1980 penny, these errors can make all the difference in its value. For example, some 1980 pennies were struck off-center, meaning that the design wasn't properly aligned when it was pressed into the coin. These off-center pennies can create unique, irregular shapes and are often highly sought after by collectors. Other 1980 pennies have been found with double strike errors, where the coin was pressed twice during production, creating a blurred or overlapping design. Mint errors like these are incredibly rare and often increase the value of a coin exponentially. Another mint error that collectors are on the lookout for in 1980 pennies is the cud error. This happens when a small piece of the die breaks off during the minting process, leaving an indentation on the coin. These cud marks are a fascinating feature of a coin and add to its rarity and desirability. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? Well, for a typical 1980 penny in circulated condition, the value is close to its face value, just 1 cent. But for those rare, uncirculated specimens or for those with interesting minting errors, the value can skyrocket. Some collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a 1980 penny that stands out from the rest. In fact, depending on the condition and the rarity of the mint error, a 1980 Lincoln penny could be worth a staggering $58,000, yes, that's right. $58,000 for a single penny. That's how much a well-preserved, rare mint error 1980 penny could potentially be worth in today's market. Imagine finding a penny from your change jar that could be worth more than a luxury car. It's crazy to think that such a small coin could hold so much value, but that's the magic of rare and collectible coins. The value isn't just in the metal, but in its history, its rarity, and the condition it's in. If you happen to have a 1980 Lincoln penny or come across one during your coin hunting, make sure to carefully examine it for any signs of mint errors or unusual features. Even if it looks like just another penny at first, it could be hiding a valuable treasure. And if you've got a 1980 penny in pristine condition with no visible wear, you could be holding onto something that will increase in value over time. So, the next time you're looking through your coin collection, remember that a 1980 Lincoln penny might just be a goldmine in disguise. Coins like these remind us that value isn't always about the year or the amount of metal, sometimes it's all about the condition and the rarity of the piece. Today, we're diving into a coin that may be sitting in your pocket, unnoticed, yet could be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1966. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny, but as any experienced collector will tell you, sometimes the most overlooked coins hide incredible value. Stick with me, because this little penny from over half a century ago might just surprise you. Now, let's start by looking at the history behind this iconic coin. The 1966 Lincoln penny was minted during a time when the U.S. was going through some significant changes. The country was in the midst of a post-World War II boom, and the 1960s were a period of social and economic transformation. The coin itself carries with it a slice of this dynamic era. It was part of the regular yearly production of Lincoln cents, which have been a cornerstone of American currency since 1909. But just because this coin was produced in large numbers doesn't mean it's not valuable. In fact, there are a number of reasons why the 1966 penny stands out among the rest. First off, the design. On the front of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image has been a symbol of American values like freedom and unity for over a century. On the back of the coin, you'll see the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which appeared on the reverse side of the penny from 1959 until 2008. It's a design that captures both history and pride, making this coin more than just currency. It's a snapshot of American heritage. But here's where it gets interesting. While millions of 1966 Lincoln pennies were minted, they weren't all created equal. The truth is, most of them were heavily circulated, bouncing from pocket to pocket and accumulating years of wear and tear. That means the majority of 1966 pennies you come across today will be in poor condition. However, here's the catch: there's still a chance to find one that has been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. And let me tell you, this can make all the difference when it comes to value. Coins that have been kept in mint condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, are much more appealing to collectors. An uncirculated 1966 penny is a rare find and can be worth significantly more than its face value. This is a classic example of how a coin's condition is just as important as its rarity. In fact, uncirculated pennies from 1966 have been known to fetch thousands of dollars on the collector's market, but we're not done yet. There's another element that makes the 1966 Lincoln penny even more intriguing to coin collectors: minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the production of coins, and they can result in incredibly valuable and unique pieces. For example, some 1966 pennies have been found with double strikes, meaning they were pressed into the dies twice, causing the design to appear twice on the coin. Others have been struck off-center, giving them a distorted and irregular appearance that makes them stand out. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1966 penny is the so-called die chip or die crack errors, where a piece of the minting die broke off or cracked, leaving an unusual mark or imperfection on the coin. These errors are incredibly rare, and collectors love to get their hands on them, as they're unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. If you come across a 1966 penny with one of these minting errors, it could be worth far more than any regular, well-circulated penny. So, you might be wondering, how much could a 1966 Lincoln penny be worth if you happen to have one in excellent condition, or with a rare error? Well, the value can vary depending on several factors, including the condition of the coin and whether it has any unique minting errors. But for a penny that's been well preserved in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a significant boost in value. In fact, a 1966 penny with an error or in perfect, uncirculated condition could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000. That's how much some rare 1966 Lincoln pennies have sold for at auction. It's hard to believe that a penny, something we usually spend without a second thought, could be worth more than most cars, but that's the magic of rare, collectible coins. Their value is determined not just by the year they were minted, but by their rarity, their condition, and, in some cases, the fascinating minting errors they carry. So, the next time you're digging through your change jar or going through your coin collection, take a closer look at any 1966 Lincoln pennies you find. Examine them carefully for signs of wear, and if they look like they've been kept in mint condition, don't overlook them, they could be worth a small fortune. And if you happen to come across one with a rare error or unusual feature, you may be holding onto a coin that could sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're talking about a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but it holds a fascinating story, and a potential treasure. That's right, we're diving into the world of the 1975 United States Lincoln 1-cent penny. This seemingly everyday coin could be worth a fortune, but only if you know what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready, because this penny might just surprise you. Now, the 1975 Lincoln penny may not immediately stand out as a rare and valuable coin. After all, millions of them were minted that year, and most of them were circulated heavily. The design of the penny, with Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, is familiar to us all. It's a design that has been with us for over a century and continues to serve as one of the most enduring symbols of American currency, but here's where it gets interesting. While most of the 1975 pennies were used in everyday transactions, some of them have unique qualities that make them highly sought after by collectors. The key to their value lies in the coin's rarity, condition, and the possibility of minting errors that could make a specific penny worth far more than its face value. First, let's talk about the basics, the condition of the coin. As with most pennies, the vast majority of 1975 coins have been worn down due to years of circulation. They've been handled by countless people, and many have visible wear, scratches, and discoloration. If you come across a 1975 penny in this condition, it's not going to fetch much more than its face value, which is, of course, 1 cent. However, that's not the end of the story. The real value lies in the coins that have been preserved in excellent condition, those that have never been spent and haven't been subject to the wear and tear of daily use. These uncirculated 1975 pennies are far rarer than you might think. Imagine finding a penny that looks as if it was just minted yesterday, with no visible scratches, discoloration, or damage. These well-preserved coins are incredibly valuable because they're becoming increasingly harder to find, but that's not the only reason why the 1975 Lincoln penny can be worth more than you'd expect. There's another factor that adds excitement to the world of coin collecting: mint errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process. These mistakes can result in coins with unique features that make them highly desirable to collectors. Some of the 1975 pennies were struck with these rare minting errors, and if you happen to find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. One of the most valuable types of mint errors that collectors look for in 1975 pennies are the off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin that looks slightly tilted or misaligned. These off-center pennies are rare and highly collectible because they're unique, and their irregular appearance makes them stand out from the typical coins you find in circulation. Another common error to look out for is the double strike. This happens when a penny is struck more than once during the minting process, which can result in a blurry or overlapping design. These double strike errors can be incredibly rare and can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially if the design is clearly visible and the strike is obvious. Coins with these types of minting errors are coveted by collectors who are always on the hunt for one-of-a-kind pieces. And let's not forget about another type of error that can make a 1975 penny especially valuable: die cracks. Die cracks occur when there's damage to the minting die, which can leave an imprint on the coin. These cracks or chips in the die can create unusual markings or indentations on the penny, and these errors are prized by collectors because they're rare and often hard to find. A 1975 penny with a noticeable die crack could easily become a valuable addition to your collection. So, how much could a 1975 Lincoln penny be worth? If you're lucky enough to have a 1975 penny in uncirculated condition, you're already on the right track. These well-preserved coins are worth far more than the average penny. But if you happen to come across one with a minting error, the value can skyrocket even further. In fact, certain 1975 pennies, especially those with rare minting errors or in exceptional condition, have been known to sell for as much as $64,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $64,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how a seemingly ordinary coin, produced in large numbers, can be worth so much. This is a perfect example of how rarity, condition, and unique features come together to create a collector's dream. So, if you have a 1975 Lincoln penny in your collection, take a moment to examine it closely. Is it in pristine condition? Does it show any signs of mint errors, like off-center strikes or die cracks? If so, you might be holding on to a valuable treasure that could be worth a small fortune. Even if you don't have one of these rare error coins, just knowing what to look for can make all the difference when it comes to your collection. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1975 Lincoln penny and want to know more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future discoveries. You never know, your next great find might just be sitting in your pocket. Happy collecting, and good luck!